Efficacy of online social networks on language teaching, a Bangladeshi perspective. Hello everyone, my name is Shaila Shams and I am a lecturer at Independent University, Bangladesh. I am here to present my research on this topic. Bangladesh, being a post-colonial country, has always emphasized on the importance of English. English as a subject is mandatory from grade 1 at school level and the medium of instruction for tertiary level education in both private and public universities is English. There are three types of schooling system in Bangladesh: English medium, Bengali medium, and madrasa or Islamic education. And among them, English medium students are the most proficient users of English, as they're the only one whose medium of instruction is in English. Bengali and Islamic medium students, though, have good results in their school leaving exams for English, but in reality their proficiency in this language is poor. Also, there is a great deal of difference in the quality of teaching English between urban and rural schools. English language proficiency is viewed with high regard when seeking for employment in Bangladesh. These factors contribute to making a mixed ability language classroom ranging from high proficiency level to low when students from three different types of backgrounds come to university. As I have already mentioned, I am a lecturer of English at a private university in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Students enrolling in the university have to do foundation courses in English. English foundation courses focus mostly on writing, reading comprehension, listening, and speaking skills. It is impertinent to mention here that these foundation courses only cover the basic level of such skills. This study is based on two groups of such a foundation course. This course, called English 101, has many sections of students, as many students of the first year undertake this course to help them in their understanding of their undergraduate degree, which is taught in English. These students particularly take this course as their ability in English is deemed to be below average by analyzing their admission test results. The length of this course is 3 months. At present, social networking websites, especially Facebook.com, are very popular in Bangladesh with over 37 million users and more than 50% of them within the age range of 18 to 25 years. Rationale of the research. The target of the initial English foundation level course, English 101, which focuses on listening, speaking, and writing skills, is to enable students to converse in English and to understand the class lectures, since the medium of instruction and study materials are in English. This research focused more on improving students' writing skill and grammar. The use of technology in the language classroom has proven to be a great source of help. However, social networking websites such as Facebook, Twitter, etc., which are extremely popular among young generation, are believed to be motivating for learning and also are genuine sources of authentic use of the language. Therefore, the hypothesis is that social networking websites can be proven to be instrumental in acquiring and teaching of a language. Thus, the research question is, can the use of social networking website in a language classroom facilitate learning and teaching? And aims at providing an answer to the research question regarding the usefulness of using social networking websites in language classroom in order to facilitate language learning and teaching. Research methodology. Participants. As mentioned before, the participants of this research are students of English 101, a foundation level course focusing on improving students' listening, speaking, writing, and grammar. Students from two different sections of English 101 have participated in this study. The median age of the participants was 18. The first section with 30 students was taken and named as the control group, whilst the second section with 27 students was taken and named as the experiment group. Data collection instruments. A diagnostic test was taken at the start of the course to test the skills of the students in both the groups. Similarly, a diagnostic test was taken at the end of the course to test and compare the improvement in skills of the students by the end of the course. The experiment group was taught through classroom teaching along with the assistance of facebook.com. On the other hand, the control group was taught only in the class. Student profile. The breakup of the control group and experiment group class population shows a fair distribution of both the genders in the class, with a bigger population of males as expected in the private tertiary level education prevailing in Bangladesh. Immediately previous school living English language results of the groups was recorded. Both the control group and the experiment group had very similar results in the previous school living examinations, with grade A being the highest quartile to be received and grade D being the lowest quartile of grade received before a student is given an F or fail. Procedure. I decided to use a social networking website along with formal classroom teaching with the experiment group. Our Facebook group was open for this section at the start of the semester. As Facebook is extremely popular with the young generation, students showed great enthusiasm about this initiative. The activities on Facebook followed a system. Every week, the teacher would post a task on Facebook based on the lesson in the class. These tasks were called contests. In addition, the teacher would also post help files on those topics to clarify students' understanding. Students were encouraged to interact spontaneously in the group. Every student's comments were corrected by the teacher if there was any spelling or grammar mistake. It was observed that sometimes even students were correcting each other's mistakes. The tasks assigned had a time limit. Students were given 2 days' time to finish each task. After 2 days, the teacher would announce the result. Also, the response of each student containing grammatical mistakes was corrected by the teacher and explained to the students either on Facebook or in the classroom. At the end of the 3-month semester, a total of 10 tasks were given. It was announced before in the class that 3 top winners will be rewarded based on the number of the wins. At the end, 3 winners who had completed and won the tasks most of the time were rewarded. The first prize was given to the student who had maximum number of wins, followed by second and third position. Mentioned, an example of a Facebook contest post and help file is shown on the screen. The hypothesis of the research was that the use of online social networks facilitate language learning and teaching. However, this hypothesis is backed up by theoretical underpinning as well. According to Larson Freeman, a task-based approach aims to provide learners with a natural context for language use. Therefore, this study based its hypothesis on the theory of task-based language teaching and its application through the use of a social networking website, Facebook. Now, analysis section. Analysis Part 1. The results of both the start and end tests of both groups were recorded and averaged as shown. The experiment group, as seen, showed a marked difference in the improvement when compared to the control group. Analysis Part 2. The breakdown of the results were analyzed and charted with the green bars in each chart indicating the number of students achieving a particular mark in the start test, whilst the grey bars indicated the number of students achieving a particular mark in the end test. A breakdown of the results show two particular facts. 1. Both the groups had a higher number of students below the 80% marks at the start of the course, with the highest percentage of students in the 70 to 80% marks category, but very low number of students in the above 80% category. 2. At the end of the course, the student population group of the experiment group is seen to have shifted majorly above the 70% marks threshold, with equal number of students gaining 70 to 80% and 80 to 90% marks in their respective tests. 3. The control group, on the other hand, shifted mainly above the 50% marks threshold, with the most students gaining 70 to 80% marks. However, the control group successfully managed to pass all its students, while the experiment group failed to do so. 4. At the end, the total number of students gaining above 70% in the control group was 20, which is 67% of the class population, while the total number of students gaining above 70% in the experiment group was 19, which was 70.4% of the class population. Analysis Part 3. The results in Part 2 of the analysis sparked further investigation, and after further scrutiny, the data was analyzed and charted. As shown in the chart, both the control class students and experiment class students were grouped into smaller categories depending on their achieved results in the start test. Their end test results were then averaged to find out which group did the best, if any, with the help of the Facebook social media. None of the students could achieve a mark between 90 to 100% in the diagnostic test, and thus this group was not formed. The results of the analysis pointed out a few interesting facts. In the experiment group, the students gaining less than 50%, the failing students, and the students achieving 80 to 90% marks showed little or less improvement when compared to the students in the control group. However, the students who achieved between 50 to 80% in the starting test showed considerably better performances in the experiment group when compared to their equivalents in the control group. So, to summarize my results, students with assisted social media teaching are found to show better improvement when learning written English language skills. This improvement is most marked in students with average proficiency in English. Students with very high or very low proficiency skills in English are not benefited with social media assistance. Rather, such methods have been found out to have negative effects on their learning. Here are a few references that I have used in this presentation. More references were used in the actual study. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. For any inquiry, please do not hesitate to contact me on the email given on the screen.